She slides open the journal across the table, nods at the newsprint clipping taped to the page. It's an obituary. I skim the words. Talia Gillen, survived by her twin sister Iris. Iris has a twin? Or Iris had a twin? I swallow hard. On the page next to the clipping is a bulletin from the funeral service. I'm sorry about your sister, I say. I ask if she has more family, but she doesn't understand family. I finger spell slowly, add a question mark with my expression. She shakes her head, sends me to the living room for the brown journal. I retrieve it, she flips pages, shows me an old photo of a man in a military uniform, 2 dates underneath, birth and death. Iris pulls the spiral notebook from her apron pocket. We were 11 when we lost him to the war. Mother died soon after, perhaps of a broken heart. Talia and I were raised by our grandparents. They're long gone, of course. I still miss them, but I miss Talia the most. Yellow poster paper, permanent black marker on my bedroom floor. I draw a family tree chart like the one Mr. Tanaka showed us as an example. It only takes a minute. Most of the poster is empty space. I should have made my chart bigger. I fill in names and birth dates for my grandparents, but the lettering is dreadful, leaning one way, then the other grandpa's last name squashed to fit in too small space. No wonder Olivia is in charge of lettering whenever we do projects together. My hand slips, fumbles the marker, leaving an ugly black streak where my uncle's name should be. Arg! In a flash, I slash black lines across the stupid yellow poster, again and again destroying my lousy project. I tear it into quarters, shove, scrunch, smash the pieces into the wastebasket. Then I step back, take a breath, stare at what I've done. I feel sort of better and sort of worse, and I'll need a plan B. I start daydreaming, aiming to think about a new way to tackle my project, but my mind wanders, thinks about Iris instead. My gaze lands on the well-loved book she gave me, reminding me of the depths of despair, and I realize Iris hasn't only been sharing books, she's been sharing stories. It seems like a good one to tell her a story of my own. It seems like a good time to tell her a story of my own. I glance around my room, hoping an idea will leap up. I pull out a sheet of paper, choose an orange fine tip marker, don't know what to write, so I draw butterfly weed. Tiny blossoms in bunches like clusters of stars twinkling their way along all four sides of the page. It's a bit like a wreath. It reminds me of the centerpieces, which leads to another thought I don't especially want to think. My tiny family is changing. I begin to write orange words for Iris. I have to make a project for school, telling my family history, my family tree, which is mostly mom and me. Part of my heart wants more names to list on my project, and part of it wants my family to stay exactly the way it is forever. My mom and I are a two-person team. I'm afraid of adding a stepdad and two stepsisters will be like adding Jennifer Blister to our team, and someone is going to get hit with the ball and knocked out of the game, lose their place, and our team will never be the same. And yet two is a very small team. I uncap a green marker, add long skinny leaves to the butterfly weed, then put down the pen, read my story to myself. Every time I try to get excited about the wedding and having a bigger family, something inside me closes up, like a fist grabbing tight to something, hanging on for dear life so it doesn't get lost. One person is important on a team of two, but one can almost disappear when there are five. I fold the paper once, twice, 3 times, then tuck it in the drawer of my nightstand.